Let's continue on with refreshes. And Lonnie, your topic.
I feel like we touched on it, but we can swing through from a slightly different perspective or add your slightly different perspective to your answer, if you will. So, continuing on in the same refresh of, as we've discussed multiple times already tonight, the Platinum received a lot of positive attention. Nothing wrong with that. But I, I've already said it. They did it right. In my video earlier, I said they did 80% right. There's the Easter egg to why Matt started the episode off to Mr. 80%. There was more to do. I'm not going to get into it. But what actually determined a positive refresh and what more importantly, and like I said, I'm trying to rephrase it so that we're not asking the same question again, but what type of things would you like to see when a card gets refreshed? The one thing and I'll kick it off with, once again, not to repeat questions that we've already discussed, but one thing I was looking forward to with the Amex refresh was a purpose for you to actually swipe the damn thing. They No one actually uses the Amex card except for a credit card, not for a credit as a lifestyle card. It's a coupon book. Like you don't put it in your wallet. You're not carrying it around with you. You're not really swiping it. If you're a credit card enthusiast, that is like we are. You're not really swiping it for anything. I wanted to see them give us a reason to swipe it, to actually use it. Spoiler alert, they didn't do that. So, Matt, I'm going to kick it off to you first because you're big on my screen right now. What type of things would you have actually wanted to see on this? Not taking away of what they did, but what would you have actually wanted to see? And also take all the rumors that led up to it out because I think that will create some bias. But what did you actually want to see when it came to a refresh of this platinum?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing would have been more of a reason to swipe the card. Like right now, Amex's biggest sell to swiping to using your platinum to swipe the card is guest access to the Centurion Lounge when you spend $75,000 a year through the card. You get complimentary guest access. It's the
That's a
most
lot of
expensive.
swipes.
Yeah, it's a lot of swipes. It's the most expensive guest access in the world, but they're able to spin it as free guests when you spend $75,000 a year. I would have liked to have seen a little bit more in terms of rewards, like when it came to when we were discussing the rumors, when we were discussing like our pie in the sky things, when we were discussing the things that we wanted to see, like one of the consensuses we had was that like even at 1.5 base, this would be like a shot across the bow to everyone that Amex is out to destroy you. And if they had gone to 2%, not only is Amex out to destroy you, Amex is going to destroy you. And they kept it at 1. And I don't know if it is a question of the actuarial table, which is most likely what it is. The bean counters just said we can't do it. Or it was a Chase didn't do anything significant with their refresh and they're getting some heat for what they did. City came out with something interesting, but City's so far behind. Like they've got to catch Capital One and then they've got to catch Chase before they can even begin the conversation of getting in contention with us. So do we have to match 1.5 there and just put them to bed? Probably not. So I think that a more rewarding experience of swiping the card would have been better, but I don't think that necessarily determines a positive refresh. It would have been the thing that I would have wanted to see to get me going, oh, this is definitely something to consider. It would have been like a 1.5 floor where at least I'm gaining more than 1 point per dollar on my regular swipes if I'm not going to add another card into into an ecosystem with it. The Amex Platinum could very easily become the one card setup with a 1.5 floor. You know, it doesn't need a dining credit. It doesn't need it 5x flights and hotels, 1.5 on everything else. You could do really good with that. that we didn't get that, I can't say is like a negative. You can grade it that way, where it ends up at that 80% because everything else was what we expected. FHR got more, and FHR got more than the edit, and they convinced their hotel partners in FHR not to add it, not to require them to do a second night. That was all they needed to do, and they spent the money to do that. So props to them for doing that. I'm not going to call it bare minimum, but doing the thing that was absolutely essential to not get killed over. Because if FHR went to 2 nights on both the front half and the back half of the year, how many people were going to be upset about that? I can't do my Wednesday night in Vegas for $30. What are we doing? So to that end, that was the big positive. That is the thing to tip your cap to Amex with. The biggest thing that they needed to do was improve FHR, and they did. And they kept it one night. And they didn't do anything where it was, yeah, you've got to do 2 nights. You've got to do the split first half of the year, second half of the year. That was to placate their partners, to give them a little bit more repeat business than annually. Now they've got repeat semi-annual business, and that is more for the hotel. So that's the compromise that the hotel came up, that the hotel is willing to accept, as well as whatever pile of money American Express gave these hotels to keep FHR one night. What determines a positive refresh? Did they make your life better? Did they not make things worse? Yes. Did they make things better for their customers in terms of who's utilizing FHR? Yes. They also didn't take anything away. And I thought that Equinox was going away. I thought that Saks would have been fine going away. And at the end of the day, they didn't do that. The biggest positives were FHR just not touching anything else. And when that's the bar that, when you look at everything else that's happened refresh wise, all Amex really had to do was that to win. And that's why they're being called the winners overall.
Couple of things. When it comes to the 1.5, are you talking about 1.5 as an earning category? Or are you talking about like 1.5 in their travel portal as a burning category?
I think if they had done either, they would have been out for blood.
Yeah, I think if they did 1.5 in the travel portal as a redemption in the burning side, that would 100% be nail in coffin.
Yeah, because then the gold card becomes 6%, 6 times points on food across the board.
Yeah, that'd be so sweet.
Yeah. So I think either way, but if you wanted to be the one card to rule them all, like you only need to spend $895 on a credit card. Don't get any other credit card in existence. Don't worry about it. We got you. The 1.5 earning would have been huge. And Amex probably, they don't have enough money to do this, but they might have enough money to do both.
I would say if they did 1.5 in the travel portal for every MR point, Chase is done for me. Chase is exiting the wallet at that point. They've taken the one thing left that Chase is really holding on to me as a customer with. And also, you can't do a $600 one night FHR credit. People just burn that one night.
Oh, yeah.
They would just be like, all right, I'm just going to get my one night and get out. If they were doing it for $200, they would 100% do it for $600. So they had to split that up. They had to split that up.
But the fact they got one night on both ends, both half of the year, was a huge win.
I'm still one night adverse, meaning, if you're really just, I understand if you're traveling and you just need one night before you fly out the next day, granted. But if you're making trips around, you're somewhere for like 3 or 4 days and you're in 3 or 4 hotels those 3 or 4 days, I don't know how you do it. It's my point. That's what I'm trying to say.
You're crazy for doing that.
But yeah, they're out there.
Oh, they absolutely are.
They're in your comment section.
The only way I'm changing a hotel daily is if it's a road trip. But even then, when we did the Utah road trip, There's like a few times where we stayed 3 or 4 nights at a place and just use that as a home base. I just can't imagine the logistics and the absolute headache of changing a hotel every day for 4 or 5 days straight.
I'm
That's
on
bonkers.
my I'm on my own, so like I don't have to coordinate with anybody else, and I am sure as hell not repacking my bag and moving hotel to hotel nightly. I no,
Yeah.
no.
Craig kept mentioning cruising. I actually have a cruise coming up. And when we get off, when we disembark from the cruise, I will be staying one night. And that's we get off, we have that day, and then the next day I'm flying home. So that's what I'm saying, like a one night scenario, which I can get behind, but it's not, hey, let's go over here for a week and then I'm going to use this 2 night credit. Then I'm going to use another, we're going to switch hotels. I'm going to use a 1 night credit. Now, I don't know. I don't understand how people do that. I just want to get there once. And like RJ said, unpack. When I leave, I'll pack back up.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, Matt. RJ, you're now big on my screen, so you're next.
So, what Positive Refresh, I think, does a couple of things. If it's already a good card, I think it has to honor the DNA of that card, right? You took a platinum that knew what it was. Now, did I really want them to go 1.5 or 2x catch all? Yes. Did I think they were going to? No. Maybe for the 50th. I can hold out hope for the 50th of the platinum, they'll change that. But otherwise, I didn't really expect it. So what they did in the refresh was basically just honor what they had. These are the credits you're getting. This is how we're updating the card for 2025, 2026 going forward. We're not going to put you down to 3x on flights. We're not going to monkey with the major mechanisms of this card. If you like the platinum, we're giving you more platinum. It's like the pimp my ride of credit card refreshes. So we had that, right? That to me is a smart way to refresh a card. If Chase had done that with the CSR, take the card, honor what the DNA of the card is, update it, even if they changed a major component, I think it would have worked better. I think what a bad refresh looks like is if they took the Wells Fargo autograph, right? It's a great 3x card on a bunch of things, right? You've got gas, and I don't have it in front of me, but you have a bunch of 3x categories, right? If they turned that in to a mini gold card, but worse, instead of 4x, it was just 3x on a couple of categories, and then everything else was like 1x for some reason, but they gave you like a food credit, people would lose their minds because that's not actually honoring the card as it is. It's basically refreshing it into an entirely different card. So I think honoring what your card is, if it's a good card. And now if it's a crap card, if it's like 1.25, if it's the Venture 1 card, then yeah, update that baby. Don't honor the DNA, give it a transplant. But if it's a good card, I think you have to do that. You have to honor what the card is, update it, go forward. And for the love of all that is good and holy, do not give it a 4-month window before you refresh it for current holders. Please.
This is what happens when you pizza instead of French fry.
They did something. Oh, but yeah, no. I think it's more simple than the companies want to metric this out to have 86 focus groups. It's not that complicated, guys. It's really not.
Yeah, just don't let your competitors know your next move. I think that was. We've talked about this, so we got the logs. The videos are out there. The CSR refresh wasn't bad. Now it looks bad. It looks worse, but I was there on day one. Matt, you're my witness. Why did you just say, here's everything we're doing in 4 months to your competitors? Everybody out there. I'm sorry.
Leaving a soft 20 on the table was stupid.
That was the absolute stupidest business decision anyone can make. Period. That was just dumb. Craig, let's round it off with you, sir. You're not
All
big on my
right.
screen though, but you're up there.
Am I big now?
You are now. You've said enough.
Yeah, we
where
are
you're
doing
big
the
now.
thing. So I want to say I agree with you. I think the platinum refresh was actually very good, but also I was high on the platinum stock before that. So you just gave me more of what I already. I'm a simple man. Give me consistency. I'll say this: when I see a card refresh, when I think of a wheat refresh, I think, oh, you added something small or you exchanged something. Prime example, when the Venture card gave away the 2 lounge access passes, the $95 Venture card that you could use to get into Capital One lounges, but instead they gave you the $120 global entry. Not a great refresh, not good. I would prefer the lounges, but they gave you something in exchange, but everything else about that card stayed the same. I don't think the CSR was necessarily a refresh. I think it was a complete rebranding of the core image of the card because it does different things now. Yes, you can still dine and travel, but it is not the utilitarian card in your wallet that you can reach for darn near anything. And realistically, even if you're getting 1X, I might be buying a washing machine and I want Chase protection on it. You know what? I will give up an extra multiplier for an extended warranty. Maybe not Chase's extended warranty, but definitely Amex's. And when we say, "Oh, this was a refresh of the platinum," agree with that. You got more platinum. I don't agree that this was a refresh of the CSR. I think it is a completely and utterly different card, but with the same name. So when I'm looking for a refresh, I'm looking for, is there consistency? Are you taking the best elements that you have here and distilling that down? And if not, it's not really a refresh, it's a rebrand, right? Like you changing the Saver one from the Saver to the Saver, and again now to the Saver one. It's been a confusing process on that branding title, but nothing changed on card. We lost Uber and 10X, which that was fantastic. I had so many Capital One miles from that. But the card is still at its core the card. The American Express green card lost the lounge buddy, kept clear, but for all intents and purposes, that is still the green card. You are still using that card for exactly everything that you were using it for the day before this. When I'm looking at a refresh in comparison to a rebrand, I look for consistency. Like change doesn't always have to be the opposite of consistency. So that's it for me. Also, I think you have a new stormtrooper in the back, and I like it. It's the red guy.
Not new, but thanks for
No,
noticing.
no. I have learned something that I have apparently not been paying enough attention.
There's a lot of Lonnie Easter eggs back there. But no, not new. But thanks for noticing.
Yeah.
It's the only one. I'm usually covering it up in my videos with my body.
Yeah, I was gonna say you normally lean into the other side from my point of view.
Yeah. And that's when RJ says, "Hey, y'all are about to go off on a tangent."
I definitely was.
I need just a little light that's just over my shoulder that's like the comedy buttons that just show the different colors as we get closer to tangents.
Ooh, that'd be a fun investment.
Hey, as the tangent king over here, the guy that usually is the one that initiates them, I've been really good at preventing the tangents tonight.
You have. I will give you full credit. The tangent wrangler tonight.
I am part of the solution this episode.
Honestly, we need to get RJ a wrap it up button. Wrap it up, B.
No, because then she'll break the button because she'll consistently be tapping it.
Fun fact, the letters P, Q, and D are all tangents.
All righty.
I think Matt got the title for the night.
With that in mind, let's jump topics here. Thanks, Lonnie.